Hello everyone and welcome to the Impact Play, impacting more than just gaming. I'm your founder and host, Mohammed, otherwise known as It's Yago, and we are your one-stop news app for the latest and greatest across gaming, tech, entertainment, sports, and even music. We are amplifying voices from those respective fields and having their stories told here on the Impact Play. Your support keeps the lights running and keeps the content rolling. You can support us over at anchor.fm /the Impact Play /support or via Patreon. So Recruiter and Above get the show ad free. Go to Recruiter and Above, have exclusive access to not only the post show, but they can even call in to be a part of the live experience, plus early access and so much more. Learn more and become a Patreon supporter today at patreon.com /the Impact Play. Or even by using your credit code THEIMPACTPLAY. We are an Epic partner, so with every purchase you make within the Epic ecosystem, when you use that credit code, we do get a commission to help support the show and take us to new heights and no extra cost to you. And this is the Epic Plays Reviewcast, episode 160, where we will be reviewing the 6th and final episode of Moon Knight. So stay tuned and enjoy. This is the Impact Plays Reviewcast, episode 160, where we will be reviewing the 6th and final episode of Moon Knight, so stay tuned and enjoy. So before we begin, please keep in mind that this will have maybe a slight bit of spoiler information, spoiler discussions as well. So please keep that in mind. Also, this will be a timed exclusive for our Patreon supporters. I'll go to quotes and above over on Patreon. So this is just one of the many ways that we give back to you guys. But this will be available at a later date to everyone else later on. So I guess we'll get right into it, folks. So nonetheless, we had the season finale. And it was not a shocker, but more like a huh at the very end. So it's something I guess we knew throughout the whole story of Moon Knight, but nonetheless, it was a surprise. It was definitely a surprise. So as we are aware that towards the end of the 5th episode, pretty much both Mark and Steven, they were shot in the chest, and they essentially died. And they were and throughout episode 5, they were trying to, I guess, discover one another, each other. Their, I guess, came to being, I guess you could say, and the true origin of Steven. So essentially, what happened was Mark didn't have the best of childhoods, I guess you could say, and in order to, I guess, kind of not take a break from reality, but yeah, kind of a break from reality, where he kind of conjured up this alternate personality, which ended up actually becoming Steven. So essentially, we all thought that Steven was the primary host, I guess you could say, but it wasn't. It was Mark. Mark conjured up Steven just to, I guess, kind of escape the harsh realities of his childhood, and not just his childhood, it lasted throughout most of his life. And even on the 6th episode, the 6th and final episode, season finale, we saw them switching back and forth between one another. So we all know that Mark has the cloak, Moon Knight, and Steven has the actual white suit. And they were switching back and forth. Whenever one personality took over, the suit switched as well, so it was kind of like a switch back and forth, like a switcheroo. Nonetheless, but yeah, and then uh, so he said that they came back to life, but that's now them coming back to life wasn't a surprise. There was actually a couple more surprises, which I'm not, which I'm gonna. Should I discuss that now? I'll discuss that at the very end once I give my rating of the show. So I'll save that for the very end. But yeah, this entire episode was about choice. Yeah, it was literally about choice throughout the entire episode, and then yeah, a couple of surprises throughout the show. But on a rating from my rating scale, um, I don't want to give it between a 2.75 and a 3. I don't want to give it a 3.25. I feel like that's too much for it. Yeah, 2.75, I guess. I feel like that's a little on the low end. All right, I'll give it a flat 3-star rating for the sixth and final episode of the Empire of I was gonna say the Empire Play of Moon Knight. But yeah, it was definitely. I would definitely recommend watching this if you guys haven't already. And then we don't even know that if Oscar Isaac will reprise his role as Moon Knight, if there will be a season 2 of Moon Knight, because his contract hasn't been I guess re-signed. But yeah, okay. So if you guys wanna stay tuned for I guess a little bit of a more spoilish takes discussions of the sixth and final episode of Moon Knight, stay tuned after this. Alrighty, folks. So if you guys have stuck around for this, I guess we'll discuss the surprises here, because this is finale, and I'd rather discuss it here than not do a spoiler cast. Instead of doing a spoiler cast for this later on, I'll just do it in the same episode. But nonetheless, the surprises, or like literally what I didn't expect to happen was Amit was resurrected, was able to be was released from her in prison, as was Kanchu. But then again, we already know that Mark and Steven, they were resurrected as well. What was the name of the game that they went through? Hold on, let me see if I have it here. Let's see. No, I'm not seeing it here, but nonetheless, uh, they ended up. Well, what happened was at the end of the last episode of episode 5 was Steven, which was the made up not character but personality of Mark, and he ended up. So in order to balance the scales, his soul, I guess you could say, was lost forever. But nonetheless, after After this goes balance, Mark was free to cross into the afterlife, essentially. But he ended up, he felt something was off, that he'd rather do the right thing and go back and rescue Mark. But then he was warned that he may not be able to come back, and I'd rather live with that. That I actually tried, did not trying at all. So, he ended up, I guess their hearts kind of connected. And then they were both encased in stone, but nonetheless, that ended up releasing them, and they both were restored. So as they both were restored, they were both resurrected as well. They ended up crossing through the gates, and they were able to, I guess, come back to life. Essentially, yeah, come back to life. So once they did that, what's his name? Kanchu ended up doing a new arrangement with them both. But they said that you would release us both, but we're not gonna stay your, I guess you're not your kind of like your loyal subjects, I guess you could say. But and then there was also the other surprise. No, hold on. We didn't get to the first surprise yet. That's towards the end. But one of the other surprises after this was Layla ended up being a host for, what's this guy's name? Let me see. Oh, Ta- Toweret's Toweret's avatar. And it's like almost like a Hulk costume that she had with like wings and everything. But so that happened, but they were becoming overwhelmed by what's his name, Mark, which is the one who released Amit, and his forces, right? So Mark ended up blacking out and literally defeated everybody. So Mark asked Steven if this was you. Steven took over the body. Heck no. And it wasn't. So if Mark's asking Steven if it was him, that means it wasn't Mark and it wasn't Steven. So what does that tell us right then and there? That there's another personality. So keep that in mind as I continue on this spoilery take. And then even later looked at him like all confused, like what the heck just happened essentially. Like I have no idea. Like I just blacked out. Which was at the beginning of Moon Knight, they were blacking out. It was between either Mark or Steve taking over, and they would essentially black out. But let's keep going. So, so they ended up. It was Layla and Mark and Steven. They ended up going inside that temple where Kanchu was first encased in stone. They ended up not encasing Amit in stone, but they ended up locking Amit into what's his name? Arthur. That's his name. Arthur is ended up becoming the host for Amit. So what it essentially means was if Arthur dies, then they both die. And Kanchu said, end it. So Mark was like, if you want them killed, go ahead and do it yourself. So essentially, he ended up releasing them per their new agreement. And towards the end, we see Arthur is almost in like a what's that type of hospital? Psychiatric hospital, or psychiatric ward. Was apparently he was being taken with somebody on a wheelchair. Ended up being there. We didn't get a good glimpse of his face. But as he was walking, Arthur, or escorting Arthur, you could say, there was a couple dead bodies throughout that along that path that were noticeable. And towards the end, they both entered a limousine, where Kanchu was waiting for him. And then let's see. Oh, here it is. I forgot. He made this little comment. So Kanchu said to Arthur, like, Mark thought I wanted his wife as my new vessel, essentially. Like, no, I didn't want. Why would I ever need anybody else? But he has no idea how troubled he truly is. And me and my friend, Jack Lucky, which ended up turning around, putting two bullets inside of Arthur, which ended up being the third, personality of Mark. So there's at least three that we know of. Who knows how deep this rabbit hole goes? But yeah, those were the chakras right then and there. Uh, so we'll see if this actually fits in the MCU, or it's just gonna be like their own. It's gonna be non-canon and just be like its own universe. We'll see. So nonetheless, if you guys did enjoy that, let us know. I guess in the comment section, or by sending us read email over on Discord via email to readmail at the even via by sending us voice notes over there over at anchor.fm/THEIMPACTPLAY. Who knows, maybe even be featured on a special episode or even on a special reader mail segment of the show. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for being with us every step of the way. So you can catch our regular broadcast of the Impact Play live over on twitch.tv/the and when clicking on that notification bell over on Twitch, so you'll be notified when we do go live, or on YouTube, or even via your favorite podcast platform. Simply search for the Impact Play. Whoever consume your content, whoever consume it, we are there. So thank you guys so much. Leave us a review if you're just running any favorite platform. Thank you guys, and have a good one. Until next time.